Moin and hello, I'm Lothar from Maygames, and today we will talk about using a Steam login for Epic Online Services with Unreal Engine blueprints. In the comments of my recent video about how to use EOS with blueprints, some people asked how to avoid the web browser login with Epic Online Services. While there are different options available, this video specifically explains how to use a Steam login. We will modify the example project we created in the first video to avoid a web browser login and use a Steam login instead. As usual, this is a step-by-step tutorial using blueprints only. As I have described in the first video, we are using the online subsystem EOS to access Epic Online Services. If we use the online subsystem in the usual way, we can either choose to use EOS or Steam, but not both. If we primarily use the online subsystem Steam, we won't be able to access Epic Online Services, and vice versa. In order to combine EOS with other online subsystems, Epic Games has designed a new online subsystem called EOS Plus. And this is really a great piece of software. EOS Plus aggregates the OSS EOS plus another platform OSS, for example Steam. By using EOS Plus, we can use all of the features of EOS while combining it with certain standard features of a different online subsystem. Specifically, we can use the non-interactive Steam login. In addition to Steam, EOS Plus also works with the online subsystems on consoles, like PlayStation Network or Xbox Live, which perfectly combines the standard login of these platforms with EOS. We will use EOS Plus for our simple example. As prerequisites for this video, we need the sample project from the first video. Make sure that the project is up and running using two different Epic Games accounts. Plus, for this video, we need two different Steam accounts. Now we are ready to go. We open the EOS Blueprints project from the first video and look at the widget blueprint main menu, where we go to the login macro. We are currently using the auth type account portal, which requires login to an Epic Games account and even two confirmation screens if we did not perform a brand review. Now we are working on avoiding this kind of login and the confirmation screens. The order of the things we are about to do is very important. If you encounter an Unreal Engine crash at some point, it is very likely that you did things in a different order. Sadly, in most cases there are no error messages, and problems just cause a crash. But if we stay focused, we can do it. First of all, we need to activate additional plugins for EOS Plus in order to combine EOS and Steam. So we go to Edit, Plugins. The online subsystem EOS plugin is already activated from our previous video. This includes EOS Plus. In addition to that, we need to activate the online subsystem Steam plugin. Then we restart Unreal Engine and make sure that the Steam plugin is enabled. Next we go to Edit, Project Settings and scroll all the way down to Online Subsystem EOS. This is the dialog where we configured the artifact in the first video. We need to modify some additional parameters here for EOS Plus. First, we need to enable Use Cross-Platform User IDs. This is used to link accounts for crossplay. And second, we need to enable Use Crossplay Sessions. This is required to start an EOS session, which is basically a server with a Steam login. The artifact which we configured here by default does not support Steam login. we need to configure the supported login types for each artifact. So we close Unreal Engine and go to the Epic Games Developer Portal. Go to our product, select Product Settings, and go to Identity Providers. There we add an identity provider for this artifact and select Steam. We enter some description. Now, there is a web page available which describes how to set up the Steam Identity Provider. I'm putting a link below this video. If you're using the default app ID for Steam, which is 480, this is rather simple. You need to copy a string from this web page to the encryption key field. Make sure that you do not enter additional spaces. And then enter 480 as app ID. If you want to use your own app ID, simply follow the instructions on this web page. Now that we have created an identity provider, we need to associate it with our artifact. So we click on Associate to Sandboxes. Click on the Identity Providers button, scroll down and select the Steam Identity Provider which we just created. Okay, now we are done setting up the Steam login for our artifact. Next, we need to edit the default engine INI. In order to find the options we need to change, we go to the Online Subsystem EOS documentation page. Link is below this video. But this time we scroll to the optional EOS Plus settings. Some additional options are listed there. We copy these options and go to our project folder, subfolder config. Open the default engine INI and paste the new options. The section Online Subsystem is duplicate now. We need to replace the existing version so that the default platform service is set to EOS Plus. In addition to that, we also need some basic setup for the Online Subsystem Steam. I've placed sample options below this video. These are also very important. If you use a different Steam app ID, you need to set it here. Now, we start Unreal Engine. If it crashes, make sure that you did all the previous steps in the right order. Last but not least, we need to do some changes to our blueprints. We open our widget blueprint main menu and go to the login macro, where the login user node is located. Now, we are removing the auth type account portal because we no longer wish to use this web-based login. And that's it for this code. At this point we may think, things should be working now. We have enabled EOS Plus and Steam, disabled account portal login, but if we test at this point, no session will be found. And we can lay down and cry for a week, and the session still won't be found. The reason for this is that EOS Plus requires a session filter. Otherwise we will not be able to find a session. This seems really strange, but don't even bother to report this as a bug. This has been brought up several times and for whatever reason it seems to be by design. Luckily, this can easily be fixed in our blueprint code. We go to the Create Session button handler, where we placed the Create Advanced Session node in the first video. There, we need to make an array containing session settings for the parameter extra settings. We make a property string and use a key named session setting. And yes, please use exactly this name, unless you know what you're doing. And for example, we can use the value test. And then in the Join Session button handler, where we run Find Sessions Advanced, we need to provide a filter array. For this array, we make a search property, using the comparison operation equals. And for the search, we make a property string, using the same key and value which we provided when creating the session. We really need to make sure we are using the correct key and value, otherwise joining a session will not work. There will be no error message, so double check. And now we are really done with the blueprint changes. And we can finally run a standalone game to test the Steam login. As you see, the Steam notification pops up. If it does not, make sure Steam is running. And we click on Create Session. Now, the first time we are doing this, a pop-up will occur to connect the Steam account with an Epic Games account. This will only be shown once. After you connected the accounts, no more pop-ups will occur, no more browser will open. We have done it. We have created an EOS session using a Steam login. To join this session, we need to use a different Epic Games account connected to a different Steam account. You cannot join a session using the same account used to create the session. So we create a session on a different PC with a different Epic Games account and a different Steam account. And then we are able to join this session. As before, all the replication mechanisms of Unreal Engine are working, and we have a login which no longer requires interaction. So as far as PC or Mac games are concerned, if we are not selling them on the Epic Games Store, this combines the best of both worlds. The great features of Epic Online Services and the smooth non-interactive login of Steam. Even during development, this is like 1,000 times better than using the DevAuth tool. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, please leave some feedback or suggest a new topic. Preparing these videos is a lot of work and your feedback is very important. Have a wonderful time.